Urgent real-time Bitcoin forecast. Bitcoin is finally predictable again. Thanks to my newly installed Blackrock ETF iShares IBIT Inflow indicator for Tradingview. Oh my God, that's such a long name, but that's what it is. I've actually turned the Bitcoin inflows volume data that you have to report every single day. That's on BlackRock's website. That was super hard to dissect and turn into an indicator. It's done. You want to see it? Here it is. Double click, 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 ta-da, here it is. So here's the entire indicator. And it's awesome because it tells you exactly where all the tops are. Huh? What? How does the indicator tell you where all the tops are? Well, you start with all the tops and then you backtrack to look for correlation. So let's do that. Here is Bitcoin's tops, right? I've circled it right before the biggest dips. So I'm looking for places where I can actually short. Okay, I'm looking for places where I can actually make money by shorting. So I'm not going to pick this one because it's not going to give you much of a big long short. I'm going to pick this one because it gave you a long short. And I'm going to give you pick this one because it gave you a long short. And I'm going to pick this one because it gave you a really, really long short. A long short, shorter short, shorter short. And finally, maybe this will give me a super long short. Now we look for correlations. What happened down here, this, by the way, if I didn't clearly explain it to you, is the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF iShares IBIT inflow tracking volume meter for indicator for Tradingview. This thing is. So is there something that happened here that will tell me that this would happen up here? I'm looking for this and this to show some kind of correlation, and by golly, correlate it does. Let me show you. I'm gonna have to stretch this out and extend this to show you the correlation. It requires an eagle eye, literally requires an eagle eye here. But if you look at this dump that went really, really far was preceded by what? Do you see that? It's a tiny little breakout that broke back in. It's a tiny little breakout. It's a deviation from trend. That's what statisticians and mathematicians call it. It's a deviation from trend. Even if you don't remember all those calculus formulas and the statistical and linear algebra formulas, you don't have to remember them. Because now ChatGPT and even Grok and Gemini will just do all those formulas for you. But the concepts are important to remember. It's a deviation. Here's the trend. I should have drawn this line longer because it touches here perfectly. Trend, deviation. Follow the green line back up. No. Are you serious? Really? But that's just maybe it's just a coincidence, right? So let's go right back down and see the next trend, the next trend, the next trend. Okay, 2 touches on the top. And then here, we didn't even have a touch on the top. That's actually another deviation from trend, especially when touches are spaced about, they're spaced about 5 days apart, 5 days apart, 5 days apart, 5 days apart, 5 days, 5 days, no touch. What happened? So there's a deviation. What happened? Holy shit. Really? You mean 2 for 2? You have two tops here and 2 deviations here. Really? It can't be that simple. Oh, can't it? Let's take a look. At the next top, here's another top. Absolutely, this was a beautiful meaty short. I'm actually gonna have to shrink this down so that I can show you this. Maybe I will extend this axis. It's weird. It's this thing, Asperger's thing, where I can't remember X and Y axis. Never. I can't ever remember which is X axis and which is Y axis. Anyway, total top, huge short ability, and we had 5 days in between. We had this is drawn horribly. Look at that. Look at how horribly this is drawn. This is why you have to be absolutely meticulous when it comes to drawing these things. Okay. We had our first breakout right here, and then this is where a deviation happened. As soon as our deviation happened, boom. Let me zoom out and show you together. Show it to you both at the same time. Trend, 5 days apart. deviation happens here, and then that marks the top. Poof. Okay, well, okay, so that's 3 for 3. I mean, maybe it's a coincidence of a coincidence, okay? That happens. A coincidi of coincidi happens. Actually, if it's a coincidence of a coincidence, meaning it's a coincidi, it's not a coincidi of a coincidi. It's just one coincidi. So, you think it'll happen again? Literally after like 3 instances of this. Wait. How many of these circles do I have here? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circles. You think this will happen 7 times in a row? This is why I tell you, there are ways to predict the future. You can even predict when you're going to get married. If I can predict the price of Bitcoin here, I can predict when you're going to get married. I can predict when you're going to fall off a bicycle. I can predict when you're going to get your molars extracted. All of this stuff is predictable. Literally, just through rules of large numbers and tons of math, everything's predictable. So when I tell you about other projects that are trying to predict the future, this is exactly how it works. It's not some mystical weird thing. It's just big numbers simplified to find correlations and then maybe even causations underneath those correlations. Okay? So, look. So this would be my third one. Third one was absolutely true. Here we had a top and then we had a deviation from the trend. Now we have the fourth one. This is number 4. I should have numbered these, but let's look at the fourth one. You got to be kidding me! You really got to be kidding me! Really? And I'm doing all these 45-degree angles so that we can avoid mores. Mores are a harmonics thing. Mores are this thing where if you just have it just right, everything, the whole screen kind of just looks really, really weird and stuff. If you just there. Did you see that? Did you see that angle? If you hit just the right angle, the whole screen looks really, really weird. That's harmonics and discord. So it's either harmonic or discord because it lets light in or it doesn't let light in. It has to do with polarity, which is exactly the same reason why you can predict compatibility. Whether you're going to be compatible with someone that you just meet or not, wouldn't you want to know literally in advance before you actually get married and have 3 kids and then lock yourself down into a 50-year mortgage? Wouldn't you want to know that this person isn't going to put out after a year and a half of marriage? They're just going to be like, I'm not doing duty sex. Wouldn't it be nice to know before you actually did all that and then end up giving up half your money? It's kind of important to be able to predict the future. So when I talk about other projects, it's not some weird thing that's totally different. Okay, let's go back into this. Top, huge dump here. You would have made a ton of money if you'd shorted this. Let's see if there was a correlation. Let's see up here. Let's move that right there, right? Sure enough, let's look at that. Right there. We had, well, this is the deviation here. This is the first deviation, and it marked this top. The higher top is retesting this channel and failing. It didn't break out again. And then it moved into a lower angle. Went this angle and then this angle. Boop, boop, nope. Boop, 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 boop. You see that? Angle change. And right at that angle change, we dumped. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this 5? 6. Let's try number 6. Sure enough, 6 was the top. And guess what happened here? We had a breakout. It can't be that easy. Life can't really be that easy. Can it? Once you find the pattern, it is that easy. Once you find the pattern in everything, you can predict the future. All you have to do is find the pattern. Because everything repeats. Life repeats. You know that poem that says, or that's saying, life doesn't repeat, but it does rhyme? No. What he's trying to say is that things don't repeat, but they end the same, like a rhyme. Everything ends the same. He'll live 2 different lives, but they'll both end up super rich or they'll both end up super poor. No, everything repeats, including the endings. They don't just rhyme. It's like, it's a carbon copy of one sentence to another sentence or one stanza to another stanza. It's basically a refrain. It's a chorus. It just keeps repeating over and over again. This is number 6, I think. Here we have, well, this sucks. This is horribly drawn. But I mean, you don't even need this, do you? You don't even need this because this particular breakout is visible. See that? We have a rising wedge, and then we broke out right here. Guess what happened? No, holy shit, really? Yeah, yeah. Look, this is where the breakout happened, right there, and that's where the top was. Now I'm going to show you again. Let's do this again. I think we just did this one, right? What about this one? Same. I mean, I don't even have to show you this one. This one goes, and this is such a simple curve. I'm not even going to show you. I'm not going to chart this. This is just the deviation here. But then look at this. Look at this one too. Look at the seventh one. I suppose we have an eighth coming up. Here, right about here, we had right about, let me draw this one. All right, here, this one I drew for you. This is where we had the peak. I mean, this is a bigger peak, yes, but let's just take it to this point. It's all about the same price anyway. There's a reason I'm not doing the last peak on this one, but to explain that, it'll make this video go another 20 minutes, so I won't explain it. I'll just say it's close enough to being here. Breakout. See this? 5 days apart. Touch, touch. This is the trend. Trend confirmed. Breakout right here, go all the way back up, and it is a high before we drop lower. This low, these lows keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller. You see that? But what's happening right now? Is this going to pump again, or are we going to dump? That's the real question, isn't it? And this is the answer. Ta-da! Do I have to draw the trend line? I mean, I don't have to draw the trend line anymore, do I? I mean, this is pretty obvious as to what's going to happen next, but I'll draw it anyway for people that are not used to seeing charts, because there's a lot of people that aren't used to visualizing this stuff. And here it is, deviation from trend. Ta-da! Right there, right here, deviation from trend. So what we're going to do is draw another green line and show you, remember, whenever there's deviations from trends, it is a pump that is going to dump. Deviation from trend happened right here, and voila, takes us up to this price right now. Ta-da! And here's the whole story. To get updates, you're going to want to come here. quantcharts.pro/forum is where I'm going to update these charts and the predictions on Bitcoin. This is our private community forum. It's free to join. You just join and you get private, very, very valuable charts that actually predict the future. Now buy baby coin. I'm telling you, baby fertility empowerment. You're going to want to buy it. It's going to go 300, 500x easily.